Welcome back to the fair world of Oblivion, the place in which my sanity has gone below rock bottom. Now as you can see, I start my day like most, breaking into people's houses to steal their valuables. But little did I know, this was the worst mistake I have ever made. But we'll get to that later. Eventually I am able to get into the house, but much to my disappointment, there was nothing. No people to kill, no gold to steal, just a pile of vegetables. Further up the road, I found another building. My main plan for today was to collect as much gold as possible in order to pay off the bounty that was placed upon me. This plan immediately went out of the window when I found a guy wearing a cool robe, so of course I had to take it from him. Unsurprisingly, two other priests in the same building came to defend the man, but it was no use. I won, haha! Yeah, I have no words for that. Anyway, I get the guy's robes and they make my way out of the building. In the same town, I find a church, so I head on inside hoping that I can grab some gold from the donation bowl. Instead, I find an altar, and when I try to interact with it, God himself proceeds to throw an insult at me. Blood really thinks just because he's a trillion miles in the sky that he's safe from me. Out in the streets, I find a filthy dark elf, so obviously I felt the need to obliterate this scum. However, in a twisted turn of events, the weasel was completely immune to my attacks. So if I can't hurt him with blades and magic, then perhaps I could hurt him with words. So I talk to him. However, this immediately backfires as he then proceeds to hurt me with his own words.
It's because I don't like you.
Not even the immortal can insult me. Anyway, it turns out that next to this little village is a big old castle. However, it isn't long until I run into trouble with the guards.
On my watch, will you? I'll be confiscating your stolen goods. Oh, and no gold to pay your fine,
Yep, I'm still poor.
It's off to the lockup then.
With each kill, my bounty grew higher and higher, making it more difficult for me to pay it off. I needed a way to stay away from civilization whilst being able to procure gold. After killing one too many people, I was chased out of the city by the guards. Whilst I did manage to kill them all, I knew that I had to stay far away from that. Now I must have short-term memory loss because I proceeded to not do that and yet again go back into the city. There were now seemingly no more guards left to stop me, but because I didn't want to push my luck, I headed into the first building I saw. Inside, I was met with a furball who wasted no time when it came to insulting me. So now I find myself on the other side of the counter, so you can guess what happens next.
Stop! You violated the law.
No, I didn't. That body was there when I got here.
Must serve out your...
After turning the city into a crime scene for the 8th time in the past 20 minutes, I finally decide to leave the area, which is when I spot something in the distance. I'm not sure what it was, but it looked big and it could be filled with gold, so I stole myself a horse and hit the trail. I did run into a bit of trouble on the way, but nothing I couldn't handle. That was until I got hit with the biggest plot twist in history. And that's right, these guards are wizards! This wouldn't have been a problem until another Imperial Legion guard showed up. Not wanting to make my bounty any higher, I decided to retreat. Once I had crossed the bridge, I noticed another castle-like structure to the left of where I was planning to go, so I had a quick drive-by to check it out. When I arrived, not even half a second later, the guard standing at the front gate began to attack me. The fact that word of my dangers travelled all the way to the damn mountains is actually impressive. Anyway, I run past the town and continue heading towards the tower. Normally, I don't much care for stolen horses, but the fact that this one can climb up basically vertical surfaces makes me fall in love with it. After a short while, I arrived at the top of the mountain. It's nice of someone to have already set up camp for me in preparation of my arrival. Now remember when I said at the start of the video that breaking into that house was the worst mistake I have ever made? Well, here's why. Yep. I've got one lockpick left. After carefully and precariously making a cock-up of it, I brainstormed ways to be able to get past the door. The first and most obvious was to acquire more lockpicks. Failing that, I could find a way to boost my lockpicking skills. If all that fails, then I would need to learn a spell that allows me to open locked doors of average difficulty. Even with the plan in mind, I was still a bit stuck. Everywhere I went, I was pursued by endless waves of guards. At this point, my bounty was higher than America's national debt, so walking through large cities was not an option. But that is when it came to me. Every time the guards caught me, I was out in the open. If I wanted to stay clear of them, then I would need to use stealth. And with that, I knew where I was heading next. For the first time, I used a fast travel mechanic, hoping that it would spawn me outside of the town's gates. At first, I thought it did, so I went inside the gate. Oh, good lord. Once I got outside, I realised it did not spawn me outside the gate. At first, I attempted to make an escape, but as I ran further, I decided to do the unthinkable. I reloaded my save to try and sneak through properly. The first attempt ended as quickly as it started.
What do we have here?
The second attempt was just as bad.
Stop! You violated the law!
On the third attempt, I attempt to fast travel to a different area of the town, and that doesn't go as planned.
Stop. You violated the law.
On the fourth attempt, I fast travel again to a different area of the town, and that doesn't go as planned.
Break the law on my watch, will you?
Finally, on the fifth attempt, I get a good run. This was all basically for nothing, as the guy inside didn't even sell anything to help me with my lockpicking problem. I did manage to sneak into a few more homes, but nobody had anything that was useful to me. Eventually, the guards tracked me down, and I am yet again forced to run for my life. In a matter of seconds, this lovely couple's home is swarming with guards all out to get my head. After nothing short of a miracle, I am able to get past the guards and leave the home. Eventually, I decide that the town is too dangerous to stay in, so I make my escape. So here we are, yet again being chased out of town. I decide to make my way off the mountain with haste, while I develop a new plan to decide what to do next. But now, here we are, present day me, and I do have a plan. Is it stupid? Yes. Will it work? Unlikely. Am I going to do it anyway? Heck yeah. See you next time.